style. The next one we'll see how to apply styles using component bundle style CSS. The component bundle we have style. When you click on that, we can define a CSS. So using that component bundle, how to apply the CSS is the question mark. Right. So look at the example. So I have given this is line 1. This is what we have got. Now we want to apply the style for this. Click on the style, corresponding style. Now this referring to this component. In this component, parent elements are there, child elements are there. These are the parent elements of component. These are the nested elements of component. They are not directly parent element; they are child elements of. So if you want to apply CSS, first they are asked, are you trying to apply the style for a parent or a child? Are you trying to apply the CSS for parent or a child? Like a P dot this. Then we have some, let us say, right. So go to the application, have a style. When you go to this, where is the style applied? This is line 1, this is line 2. Now how this is applied? Line 1, line 2. This is line 1, this is line 2. So if I give style as P dot this, it is referring to the parent element style. Now if the inner elements are there, style will not be applied for those. If inner elements are there, style will not be applied for those. Are you getting? If you want to apply the style for only parent elements, element dot this, element dot this. This is straight away HTML elements. This is straight away HTML elements. Suppose I want to give, concept is clear. Clear? I want to go for inner elements. This is what I have. Style. apply this. So if you want to apply for the inner elements, not the outer elements, inner elements you want to apply, what did I give? Dot this space, dot this space element, dot this space element. Same thing I am applying here. Let me take one more element to get the clarity. Same story. If I remove dot, right. So what was that? We have done previously dot this, dot this. It is not working out here because it is a straight away HTML elements. So either I will be taking p dot h1 dot or this space element. This space element. Are you clear about this one? So inner element and outer element. This is the structure what I created. I hope you are good with this example, right? Now this is straight away if you are referring to the HTML elements. If you want to apply any class, now I don't want to apply on a P, I don't want to apply on a H1. If I want to apply the style on, if I want to apply the style on classes, like how we have done previously. Now look at this example. Maybe to get the structure right for you. View box, box and one. Apply the style. Dot this, dot box. Width, height. Similarly, I am giving I gave two styles. Preview. Are we getting the red color now? Now what is the style of the red color? I gave one. This I gave width, height, background, red. The border also I'll keep. So whenever I apply this dot class, it is only applied for outer classes, not for inner classes. So if it's a direct element of the application that is going to be applied, you cannot apply this for inner elements, nested elements. If you want to apply the style for nested elements, what should I do? Dot this. Right, boss? So when you are applying the styles for the class also, we have to define in this way. Dot this, dot for. Are you clear? So this is applying the styles. So either it will be outer element or inner element. Outer element or inner element. If you want to give here, right, boss? Are you clear about the structure? So when you are going for a CSS of styles, then we need to know outer element or inner element. Is it applied for outer element or inner element? If it is outer element, what is the structure? Inner element, what is the structure? This is how we are going to define the CSS. Properties, your CSS properties. Whatever the CSS properties are there, that we can do. So when you are designing a system, if you want to apply for the inner elements, dot this space dot class. If you want to apply for the outer element, dot this dot element. Now you directly HTML element dot this. Okay, dot this space HTML element for inner nested elements. This is how you are going to define the properties for the elements. I hope you are good. Am I clear? Okay. So that's what I have documented here. Step by step I have documented. I'll just paste the notes. Just go through this, get the structure. I already created a couple of examples and I've given clear structure about how to use them. We can define it. You can refer to the notes, whatever I explained. Theoretically, I have given the description about this and given a couple of examples. At one point, you can refer to them. So this is how we are referring to the CSS. So inline, external, style. When you are applying a style, I told you, direct element or child element, direct class or an inner element class. I hope you got the structure. People have got it? Okay. Now, I will also give you some of the frequently used elements in this. I'll just give okay. We'll just go to the flows, then I'll come back. If you have time, I'll just go to some of the frequently used lighting design system properties. Okay. Frequently used. First, I'll complete the flows topic. If time is left, we'll just go for it. Now, what is a flow basically? What is a flow? If you want to build the sequence of steps, then we'll implement the concept with the flows. Generally, let us say I have step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Then if you want to design the pages, how will you design the pages? By using Visual Force. If you design, I have to design 4 pages. Transferring of the data from one page to another page will be a complex process. But if you go to the flows, the data what we entered in the page 1, that is automatically transferred to page 2, page 3, page 4. Data can be exchanged without writing any program. We'll be able to build the pages and exchange the data, navigate. That's the advantage of going for a flow. Now, in the development classes we have done flows and plugin. Flows and plugin, right? We remember the concept of flows and plugin. Do you know it or not? How many of you know? Like people who have done development class from me, if you don't know, I'd thrash you. You've done examples on this. And how many of online people knows this concept of flows, Amma? The flows in the development?
Yeah, yes, Satish, I'm aware of that.
Yeah. So how many of you don't know?
But I'm having a question. Uh, so flows when we transfer from screen one to screen two, we couldn't hold the state in between if we implement the validation through Apex class. That's a concern which we faced while implementation of flows in the project.
Rest of the people know the flows? Rest of the people? If you know it,
No,
I'll go with
Satish.
one example. Otherwise, just give 1 or 2 examples and push it to the next step. People know it or not? Speak
No,
out.
Satish.
So look at this. Setup, build, create workflows and approvals. Now, new flow. Let me edit them. Yes, I'll edit. Just give me 1 minute. I'll deactivate the existing. Look at the flows. New flow. Now, like a flow chart, we'll be designing the steps. Screen 1. Add a field. Enter name. Step 2. Then record create. Create account. Then which record you want to create? Now field name. Name equal to the value what you entered in the screen. In the screen I entered enter name. Whatever the name I entered, it's a name. annual revenue. This is the data what I entered. Then when you insert, you are going to get ID of the record. What are the ID we are getting? I am storing in a variable ACC ID, which is used for input and output. So what I am doing, based on the values what you entered in the screen, I am trying to create an account. Once you insert the account, we are going to get ID. That ID I am storing in a variable called ACC ID. Then once you create a record, again I am taking and a field. You can also make it required. You can also apply validation rules. If you want to apply, you can also apply validation rules. Without writing a program, you are able to design this sequence of steps. Then I told, create an account, create a contract, create a contract for the account what we created. Last name equal to last name what we entered. Input screens, last name. Then already we got account ID, right? Where is that account ID? We have created a variable. Whatever the account is created, that we stored in a variable called account ID. Then we are going to get contact. Now we inserted the data. Once we inserted the data, we can write a SQL query, get the data. Here we have record lookup, get the record based on ID. Record delete. So we have record lookup means get the data based on ID. We have account ID, we have contact ID. By using that, we can get the ID. I'll make a simple one here. I don't want to write a query format. I'm simply displaying the data. So what we have, display text. Account name, we got the data. Now in this flow, what is the first step that I have to click on? Green button. Click on a green button, that becomes a first step. Save it. Account flow 1. Stream flow. Once you have created a stream flow, now from where we can access this screen, we have created a flow, right? Activate. From where we can access the flow, as a detail page button, or we can call it from the Visualforce page, or we can call it from the process builder. We can call the flow from a process builder, or from a button, or from a VF page. I'll go with a button and VF page. So what I'm doing, build, customize, account, buttons and this is URL, right? This is URL, right? Buttons and links, new button, we create detail page button, open a new window or existing window. What is it? On Java, on click JavaScript or URL or Visual Force. I give URL, check syntax. So I give the URL. When you click on that, the URL will be open. Go to the account. We have buttons. We create so what we had here, create. When you click on this, we got the structure here. Sequence of steps. We got the finish. When you click on the finish, where it has to go, I have to define. Finish location, I have to define it. Okay. So what was that? We can click on a button, we can initiate it. So URL, when you click on that, which URL will be invoked. Now when you want to create a sequence of steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, step, instead of designing a multiple Visual Force pages, navigating the data, we are able to design with a flow. This is one of the way of invoking it. Another way of invoking it, flow interview, name equal to finish location equal to we defined. Have a preview. We are invoking from the flow. I can create a tab for the Visual Force page. When you click on the tab, flow will invoke. Are you getting? So we can invoke from the custom button we can create. We can invoke from the Visual Force page, and also we can invoke from the process builder, and we can invoke from the Lightning component. Like as a Lightning component, we can use it. Right. So the drawback of this, it doesn't allow you to make a calculation. It only allows you to cache the data, but it doesn't have any coding functionality. That is the reason what we do. To perform any coding functionality in the regular classic, we use a plugin. We use a concept called plugin. So what that plugin will do, whenever you require any calculation from flow, it goes to plugin. Plugin will perform the calculation, give the result back to the flow. Flow will continue because the flow cannot perform any calculative works. So if you want any calculation to be performed, any logic to be performed, flow to plugin, plugin will perform the logic, give the result back to the flow, flow will continue. So that's flows with the plugin. But in the Lightning also, we can create the same. But in the Lightning, plugin will not be there. The Lightning we are going to call client-side controller. Because Lightning component will always call client-side controller. Client-side controller will be calling server-side controller. Then the operation is performed. Right? I hope you got my point. I hope you got my point here. Clear for everyone? Clear for everyone? Okay. Now, let us see. First thing is, when you already have a flow, can I call this flow within a component? One is calling a component within the flow is one format. Another format is calling the flow within a component. So there are two structures. Now I am creating a component. So calling this flow within the component. Using the flow within the component. This is one structure. Second structure, we have a flow, we have a component. Calling this component within the there are two different styles. Both are allowed in the lighting. One is designing a flow, invoking the flow within the component. Another one is designing a component, calling this component within the flow. We can include the component within the flow, or else we can include flow within the component. Both the styles are available. Let us see both the styles, how they are work. First, so we need to understand the predefined functionalities here. So what was that? So we have lightning flow, lightning colon flow, name of the component. Is the different story. We are getting this is the second step we are getting. First step we need to go. Right. This is the functionality. Lightning colon flow. Lightning colon flow. So let us take a quick example. Simple funda. Lightning colon flow. ID you can give anything of your choice. It has nothing to do with your flow. ID you can give anything. Controller. How do you read that ID? What is the method I give? The handler. Right. Now, whatever the flow you have given that we are supposed to give, flow dot start. Now, how that flow dot start will come? Based on the ID, read the flow. You give lightning colon flow. Whatever the ID you have given, based on the ID, we have to read it. Component dot find, okay, flow data dot get value. Then we received it. Component dot find flow data. Once you got this, flow dot start flow. Flow dot start flow. What is the name of the flow? Account flow. So you just included lightning colon flow. You just included lightning colon flow, Ura colon ID, anything of your choice. Now because we gave handler, now depends, it's a event or whatever you want, okay, or you want to go get on button click or whatever it is. So when you are calling a client side script, find out that element based on the ID, then flow dot start flow, flow dot. Why this is a flow? Because we are taking the element is a variable. It is a variable. Variable dot start flow, name of the flow. Include this one in the application now. enter name, annual revenue, previous, next, right boss? Are you clear about this? That was included here. You design the CSS and get them structured. Okay, how to include them? So basically look at the code, and single line of code boss, lightning colon flow essence id. When you click on the button, go to client side controller, say component dot find id dot start flow, name of the flow. This is including already flow which is existing within the lightning component. The flow is already created, that flow we are calling within the lightning component. So next we have vice versa. Now I have a component which I want to call within the, this component I want to call within the flows. Use this within the flow. So let us look at that example. But if you are looking at this example, slightly few complex steps are here. Try to get this point. So if you want to include, we need to go for a design structure. Right. If you want to go with this, first we need to go for a design. They give the design builder. Let me give you the structure here. Okay, let us look at this first. When you are going for the creation of component, you created this component. If you want the component to be in the flows, it has to implement an interface lightning available for flow action. If you want the component to be available, in the lightning component to be available in flows, then we have to implement lightning colon available for flow action. If you want lightning component to be available in the flows, lightning colon available for flow action, and access should be global, is a mandatory. When you define this, then this component will be available for lightning. Now in this component, what we have? Attributes you have given, some attributes you have given. Then we want to print some message. Now before you call this, we are supposed to go for a design. Without design, you will not be able to give it. You have created a component. Now we are going for a design. What was this design? Without mentioning the design, you cannot use this component within the flow. What was this design says? This design says which values are passed between attributes of the component to attributes of the flow. The design will say which values are passed between attributes of the component to the flow, flow to the component. That is the reason we are supposed to define between the attribute and the flow when you configure the local action. Which values are passed between flow to attribute, attribute to flow, that is defined by using this. Then at the time of creating, at the time of giving, you just set the value. You set the value of input. That is going to give you output. You set the value of input, it is going to set the value of output. Now let us take a quick example of this. Boss, this is just for understanding. If you have any requirement, how to use it. Okay, I'm not digging in much. Just trying to touch up all the points. We give the structure. Then click on design. Click on design. In the design, what are the attributes you are going to take? It has only two attributes. And if you have any properties like minimum value, maximum value, required or not required, minimum value, maximum value, default, required, any other validations you want to specify, that we are going to define in this design. Right. Component with the design. Go back to the flows again. Setup, build, create, workflows and actuals, flows, new flow. Add the field. If you scroll down, what you are finding here? Lightning. Drag and drop. Click on this. Inputs, outputs. What is the name? Which component you want to use? What is the component I give? Flow. Flow example component. Where was our component? Is not visible here. Let me refresh. Did I save it or not? Create. Our flow is not visible here, right? Chalo, let me give inputs. Which attribute you are giving? Creating. store them in a variable if you want, or automatically outputs are given here. Okay. Invalid field entries, go to this, reading, store them in a we have created. So if you want to display in the next step, sequence of steps, start the element, save it, flow account, some message I'm giving, close it, activate the flow. So we created a flow which is invoking a component. Then what I'm doing, this flow I want to include on the record. Then we have included like a button. Here we want to include like a go to any one of the record, go to edit page, hold on, what you are finding here, drag and drop, create one column, go to the record, what was that? Flow. We just designed a flow. The flow which was given there, that is included here. Did you see that steps there? The sequence of steps we have created there. Right? Did you get my point? So we created a flow. The flow was included within the component. The flow was included, and we are just trying to use here. So if you want to include the flow, there are a few points here, theoretical points. What are the theoretical points here? Look at this. So here we have component implements available for flow action. Only when you implement this interface, this will be available for flow. This component can be included in the flow. The flow can be included in the page. Okay. Then we have got attributes. Access should be global. We have attributes. Access should be global. Now, automatically, this is going to be invoked when the component is called. When the component is called, automatically this will be invoked. When you call a flow, this component will be called. When you call a component, automatically invoke will be called if you want to test it. Then for doing this, we need to go for what? First, we need to go for design resource. What is this design resource? This will specify which data we are going to take from the flow to component, from component to the flow. That will be defined by using a component called design component. where we have attribute name, label name, where we are going to have attribute name and label name. Basically, I want to convey here the message. Flows also can be included within the component, and a component can also be included within the flows. That was my major. Okay, consider the major motive of giving this is to tell you flows can also be included within the components, and component can also be included within the flows, and we can add the flows on the record page. We can also add the flows on the record page. To tell you this, we have just seen this. Right? In case if you have requirement, you can use it. Yeah.
Satish, there it is displaying a greeting and subject, right?
Now
Our
component was not displayed there, so I have added one more component and displayed in the page.
Yeah. While creating the flow, there under inputs and outputs, it displayed a greeting and subject, right?
Yes.
So it's displaying as we declared in design component or as we declared in attribute.
See, now what you can do is, this is something like this. I can design step number 1. I can design step number 1, which will take last name, first name. It will take the data. In the step number 2, I have created a step number 2. In the step number 2, I added a component. When you add a component can call a client-side interaction. Now, when I add a component here, it is asking input. Now, the value that I entered here, I will pass to this input. When you pass to this input, then once you pass the input, component will be called. When a component is called, on the component client-side controller will be called. That client-side controller can manipulate the data and give back the data to you in the form of output. Did you get my point? Screen 1, it is in the screen 1 flow I have created. Last name, first name. Those I have given as an input for the component. The moment I give as an input to the component, automatically component will be called. When the component is called, invoke method is called. When invoke method is called, it can perform some logic, manipulate the value. That output we have here. This output, whatever it is giving you in the component, whatever the output that component is giving you, this output I am storing in a variables. Using these variables, my rest of the flow will continue.
Yeah. Actually here what my doubt is, so here I declared the attributes, but I forgot to declare the design, but still it will show in flow under inputs and outputs, but it will not withhold the value, right?
Exactly. Now, and see, now you are giving a visual for Apex page class. Set and get, if you don't define, what will happen? You wrote an Apex class, string name you give, public string name. If you don't write a set and get, what will happen in the VF page? Will you be able to access that field in the VF page? No. Similarly, you created a component with attributes. You want to access them in the flow, you have to give a design. If you don't give a design, the flow of data cannot happen. Did you get my point? In the Apex, you wrote a program, everything is running, but set and get you are not given for the variable, but you are trying to access in the page, it will say unrecognized variable. The flow, if you want to give, we need to give a setter and getter there. Similarly here, component to flow, if you want to transfer the data or fetch the data, you need to go for design. I hope you are good with this.
Yes, Satish, got it. Thank you.
From the flow, pulling the data as an input to this, sending, okay, and invoking a component. Component can perform some action, return some value. Whatever the values you have given, using that the remaining flow will go. Okay, right, boss? So when do you go for a flow? When you have a sequence of steps. Basically, login pages, more number of steps will be given for login flows. Login flow will be frequently used. Okay, so this is the quick action, right, boss? So that's all from my end for the day.